Last night's game at Windsor Park had just about everything to thrill the fans and leave them looking forward to next week's rematch in the County Antrim Shield final. Linfield had the best of the early chances and thought they'd gone ahead after 25 minutes, but Glenn Ferguson's effort was ruled out by a very tight offside decision. 10 minutes later, Ards almost scored, but Gary Kennedy's shot was well blocked by Alan Manus. Suddenly Ards were on top, and just on the stroke of half-time, they made the breakthrough. As Manus made another block from Darren Fitzgerald, Kennedy nipped to ram the ball into the empty net. The second half was packed with incident and controversy. Linfield felt they should have had a handball penalty at one end, and then they appealed in vain for offside as Lee Feeney found Davy Rainey, and the substitute put Ards 2-0 ahead. With 12 minutes left, a major upset was on the cards, but Linfield hit back immediately as Mark Picking ran clear straight from the restart, rounded Steve Robertson and brought the Blues back to 2-1. That goal inspired the home team, and within 4 minutes they were level again. The Ards defence gave Glenn Ferguson a dangerous amount of time to consider his options and could only watch in admiration as he produced the goal which maintained Linfield's 7-point lead at the top. It could have been even better as Linfield had two late chances to win the game, but both were cleared by Sean Cleary. The Linfield manager relieved to have avoided defeat, but fuming at decisions which went against his side.
Wall delivers the cross. Morgan makes his way in there. Ferguson, down he goes. Penalty kick has been given. There are no protests from United as Ferguson tried to skip past his man. Down he went. No hesitation. Penalty kick. Then Ferguson has scored 3 penalties so far this season. It's still 3. The Irish League's top marksman has made a mess of that one. United.
The danger zone is still not away, and here's Picking. The opportunity for the Blues. He gets it across. Oh, it's an own goal. Oh, that was so unfortunate. The keeper who had done so well, Andrew Fox, all evening. And that was so unfortunate on Ards.
Hold on at the other end.
Here's the opportunity for Davy Larmer. We talk about it. Would he be a lucky 13 or lucky 13? How cruel can a game of football be? Just a moment ago, Darren Fitzgerald thought he had levelled it for Ards. Linfield break away, and Davy Larmer, the man who came in and replaced Chris Morgan, the keeper, had no chance. It's 2-0.
Cup quarter-final, you'd expect the Linfield players to throw everything at Glentoran, but not the fans. Yet again, supporters disgrace soccer as Glentoran goalkeeper Elliot Morris was the target for beer bottles and golf balls. The game itself had promised so much, with Linfield, who'd enjoyed the upper hand in the season's 2 previous encounters, grateful to keeper Alan Manus as he tipped Darren Lehman's shot over the bar. The Blues responded, and while Glenn Ferguson's overhead kick was spectacular, it failed to hit the target. The crucial and only goal came early in the second half as Chris Walker's free kick was touched into the net by Mark Glendinning. Even then, few might have put their shirt on a Glentoran victory, but the visitors stuck to their task, no more so than Morris, as the keeper endured further missiles from the Kop stand, yet pulled off a magnificent save to deny Aidan O'Kane minutes later, before Damien McLaughlin hit the post.
When the two of us play, irrelevant to what the competition is or what stage the game's at, be it a league game or whatever, the two sets of players are motivated. Certainly the fans are as well.
Windsor Park, but then in the midst of the downpour came one of the few moments to illuminate the first 45 minutes of football. The goal itself a little helter-skelter. Glenn Ferguson's rain dance, signalling number 29 of the season, and this his 39th appearance. The initial free kick took a deflected header which Philip Matthews could only parry, and this the perfect illustration of why Ferguson is the Irish League's top striker. Ferguson also had a significant say in Linfield's second, which came midway through this second half. The Blues' compliments of Stuart King well on their way to a record 45th Irish League title, and judging by the celebrations it seemed Mr. King knew it. And then it was 3. Goal number 3 came almost from nowhere. The ball hoofed out of defence. Distillery in something of defensive disarray. Mark Picking was only too willing to take full advantage. Final score, Linfield 3, Lisburn Distillery 0.
With 29 goals to his credit already this season, it was no surprise that Glenn Ferguson should be the one to evade the Limavady defence and head Linfield in front after 20 minutes. He also managed to evade his own teammates as they ran in to join the celebrations. Alan Manus kept his side in front when he blocked a Davy Patton effort nearly 20 minutes later. Then Ferguson almost repeated his earlier success, but this time Michael Docherty denied him. And in the second half, Docherty produced a terrific double save as first Stuart King and then Davy Larmour did their best to increase Linfield's lead. Another goal looked inevitable, and it duly came. With just over 20 minutes left, a great through ball sent Ferguson on his way to goal, and one-on-one with Docherty, he made the finish look easy. Goal 31 of the season for the Evergreen Glen, and Linfield now 8 points.
Another victory for Linfield inches them closer to the title. Another goal for Glenn Ferguson, his 398th in senior football, underlying the striker's personal contribution to Linfield's success in a hard-fought victory over Crusaders.
I knew it was going to be difficult today. Crusaders are fighting for their lives. They put up a very spirited performance, but I think we certainly deserved it overall.
It was a largely one-sided encounter, with Linfield peppering the home goal in search of their first ever league victory. In fact, their first ever league goal at Drumahoe. Glenn Ferguson almost breaking the duck midway through the half. However, Institute keeper Kieran McLaughlin was in inspired form to deny the visitors with a series of spectacular saves. So, despite setting a new Premiership record of 26 unbeaten matches, Linfield saw the lead at the top reduced to 3 points. It might have been even worse had the home side Stephen Parkhouse made more of this chance, but Chris Morgan was confident the title was still theirs for the taking.
Chasing hard, but Linfield show no signs of faltering as that title race draws to a close. They had to wait 35 minutes to open the scoring against Newry last night, but once William Murphy had headed in the opener, the result was never in doubt. Much of this season's Linfield success has come from the goals of Glenn Ferguson, and his 33rd of the current campaign proved to be one of the best as he hammered in a Chris Morgan pass from 25 yards. It's worth seeing again as an object lesson for any would-be goal scorer. One more goal would take Ferguson to 150 for Linfield and 400 in his football career. But Linfield's third came deep in injury time, not from the prolific striker, but from his centre-half colleague Murphy, who knocked in his second goal from a mark-picking corner. The second half saw Linfield continue to dominate, and they made it 4-0 5 minutes after the break when Newry goalkeeper Alan Young was left stranded as Stuart King scored. And the Blues wrapped up a comprehensive win with Picking again providing the ammunition for a defender, this time Stephen Douglas on the score sheet. 2 games to go, Linfield still 3 points clear, and now with a better goal difference as well. The title is in Linfield's hands, even if others are still hoping they'll drop it.